Hello everyone and welcome to Italy for round 13 of Season 4 of my F1 2012 career mode. I am Nubspuds and today our objective is to finish 3rd or above. Why? I did get into Q3 but I didn't have an amazing lap. At least I don't think so anyway. I've already forgotten, but at least I got my braking points sorted out on the first corner, which is always a good start. This is again one of those tracks which I am not the fastest on, but I feel I can do okay on it most times. Sector 1 is, as standard, pretty quick in Sector 1. It's Sector 2 that really gets me most of the time. These Lesmo corners. I think it's more the run out the second Lesmo that gets me. So I think what happens is that the AI are dumping all of their curves coming out of the second Lesmo. So that's what I'm going to try and do most of the time. At least that's what I've been doing during practice, and I thought I'd try something a bit different in qualifying, save a little bit for the end. Let's see how many a tenth off, so if I have a good third sector, I can probably be up there with Grosjean. And as you might notice, Grosjean's got a blue tag next to his name. That means he is my rival for this part of the season. Mainly because I want to get into the Lotus next season. Not that I wouldn't get a contract anyway, but I just want to make sure that I get his seat. 5th place, so that's just good enough for 5th, but I did move down another one to 6th as Nico Rosberg managed to get 100th of a second on Grosjean. Start on pole, but everyone covered by 6/10ths of a second. Not quite sure where Jensen was there. I think he might be a bit behind. But anyway, cloudy sky. Not going to rain though, so no worries about that. Continuing on our good running streak. So, pretty average start. I always brake a bit early for the first corner though, because I'm not entirely sure. I should redo practice starts off the line or something in practice. That might help. Anyway, I did make my way around Schumacher. I'm going to make my way around Kimi Räikkönen. That's the name. So there you go, up to 4th. See how far I'd get before the lead cars start running away from me. I feel quite confident. I've got a decent pace, so as long as I stop making silly little mistakes, and I should be okay to maybe get a good result here today. But yeah, I can't believe I'm on this lucky streak with the weather. I really haven't had a race yet where it's been properly raining and had to use intermediate tyres or wet tyres, which is quite amazing. I think he had a bit of a lucky escape a couple of races ago when it started to rain at the end of the race, but that's fine. I'm quite happy with that. I suppose the others should be praying for rain, especially with the lead I've got in the championship at the moment. Doing a bit of a Vettel this year, I think, it seems, which may be uninteresting for some, but yeah, it's kind of awkward. Maybe I'll try and stick to like slightly slower cars next time round, depending on what the AI is like in the next game. We'll have to see, but it does get a bit easy on some of the tracks, especially something like Spa last time out, where I ended up with a 20 odd second lead. It's, especially in a 25% distance race, it's not exactly exciting, is it? But oh well, I'll try and think of something. But still, I'm going to try and always go flat out for the win if I can. But it's just more interesting when I don't start on pole, I suppose. So I've got purple sectors at the moment. Oh, on lap 2, that's why. That first lap just went by me without any without me noticing, to be honest. I think you have to excuse me a second though, because I'm gonna have to blow my nose. 1 second. better. Right. Yeah, 1.5 seconds behind Alonso. So the top three are starting to get away a bit, but I'm sort of hanging on. Raikkonen sets fastest lap, so I'm not actually far off the pace. Only 2/10 down on Raikkonen. Well, it depends on what my last lap was, really, doesn't it? But my best lap was only 2/10 off of that. And I've got a relatively decent pace, it seems. Just trying to close that gap to within a second to Alonso. It's going to be a bit difficult coming around this second Lesmo corner. You can see I'm dumping all of my curves down on the straight just to keep up with them. Raikkonen's trying to make a move, but not quite. My pace does seem a bit faster than last lap. It's purple, so that's always a good sign. 1.7 behind Alonso. He should be busy enough with the guy in front. Whoever that is. I think it might be Schumacher. I'm not entirely sure. Didn't look. Actually, it could be Rosberg, actually, because he started on pole. Oh, it's Rosberg and Grosjean up front. Yeah, so he should be busy with him. I've probably set the fastest lap, unless someone else comes across the line faster. Schumacher did. Okay, typical. There you go. Alonso gets into a bit of difficulty there. Slides out on that corner. Gives me the opportunity to get the run on him around the outside of this curve.
Nice move. You're up a place.
Brilliant. So next to my list is Rosberg. The cars are starting to get faster though, and the tyres are beginning to wear off, but they have very good wear rate in this race, which is good for me, because I do rely heavily on the tyres to hold me in through the corners. I do keep going wide on that second Lesmo though. It always gets me at least once or twice during the Italian Grand Prix. So it could be under threat from Alonso. He might come and ruin my day. I think it might be a bit difficult to catch up to Rosberg now before the pit stop phases. They might be coming up soon. I can't remember what lap it is. I think it's like lap 6 or 7 or something. Yeah, but Alonso's right up behind me. He's going to get DRS on the main straight. Just going to try and stay ahead of him. Might even use a bit of my curves before the first corner. Let's see if I do. No, I don't actually. Quite confident that I can... Oh, bloody hell, it's Schumacher. That's happened before. He's come up the outside. In Hungary last season, came up the outside. I didn't realise he was on me and sort of like trapped me, and we both went in. Well, I went off into the grass. He was spinning a little bit, just saving it, and still managed to get past me. But not today. Not today, Schumi. I didn't even notice he got past Alonso. I just saw his nose there, just right up the inside of me, outside of me. It does seem like those Ferraris are falling a bit off pace this season. Schumacher coming back again with another go, because obviously it's got 2 DRS zones on this circuit. That should be another interesting challenge for 2013, especially when some of the circuits, I think some more circuits have got double DRS this year. I'm not quite sure, but I think that's the case.
Pit in this lap. Come into the pit to the end of this lap.
Okay, yeah. So lap 6 is my planned pit stop. What I'm actually going to do... What I'm actually going to do, as Webber sets the fastest lap, is I'm going to stay out for a few more laps, see if I can leapfrog the 2 leaders in the pits. It's definitely possible, considering that everyone seems to pit at the same time, that they will get held up more than I would if I went into the pits and McLaren were the only pit crew in there. So that's what I'm going to try, see if it pays off, a bit of strategy. You don't see much of that in my videos, but well, it's kind of hard to do on a 25% distance race, but you know, take the opportunities while you can, especially when these soft tyres don't, as you can see, they're not particularly going off. So whatever I've done in this setup seems to have worked with the tyre wear, and considering that there's not many corners on this circuit either, which means the tyres are holding their own pretty well. I'm not going to come into the pits, go out for a few more laps and see if I can extend the lead to from Grosjean when I get past him to about 20 seconds. That should be a nice safe cushion to get through the pits and come out into the lead, because it doesn't look like I'm actually going to catch up with them on raw pace. So let's see what we can do. So what's been going on in the world of F1? The Young Drivers Test is currently underway. It's day 2 today. The most notable debut, or not debut to be honest, but he will be debuting in the Red Bull, is Mr. Ricciardo. So it's obviously a 2-horse race between Raikkonen and Ricciardo for that second Red Bull seat next season, and at least they can have this opportunity to get Ricciardo in the faster car, see how he does. Nearly went a bit wide in the sky area there. See how he does, evaluate his performance. Obviously they can't get Raikkonen into the car because he's with another team. But you know, Raikkonen's proven world champion, so don't need to do that, do they? Right, so yeah, well, he's going to be in the car this afternoon, which has got in however many hours time, and however many hours ago by the time you see this video. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of lap times he puts in. It's pretty hard to compare it to everyone else because most of the other people are young drivers. But certainly this morning, Ricciardo was faster than Maldonado by nearly a second actually. But the morning session's not over yet. This is times correct by 10 o'clock in the morning, so Maldonado could have gone faster, all the others could have gone faster, but Ricciardo is currently topping the timesheets, which is quite nice to see. So there we go. The leaders, Rosberg and Grosjean, have managed to pit. Rosberg actually got out in front of Grosjean. So 19.1 seconds. Their tyres should be cold, so they should be slightly slower. So by the time I get to start finish straight, the gap should be around 20 seconds. That's the plan. So I'm going to pit now, get my required stop out of the way. Oh, there you go, 20 seconds. That's perfect. I'm going to jump in now before I lose time. And Rosberg should be busy with Grosjean as well, defending from him. So it all plays into my hands if we had a good pit stop. 3.5, that's pretty good for this game. So Rosberg and Grosjean coming around the last corner now onto the start finish straight. Going to beat him easily out of the pits into the first corner. But I was paying so much attention to that, I ended up missing my braking point entirely. I'm going straight off.
We think the car behind is running on full revs. He's trying to close the gap.
Oh well, I've got to make it difficult for myself, haven't I? But there you go, that's how you use a strategy to a good effect. Especially when you're not the fastest. I think I've done rather well though. It's the first time I've managed to do that, if not I'm squealing around like some sort of, I don't know, some sort of weird car. God, my words escape me at the worst of times. Amazingly, no one's retired from the race. I don't know where. My main concern is where Jensen is, because I don't know quite what position that is, because there's a big lump of cars right behind Grosjean. Well, you know, if you quite a few seconds behind Grosjean, but it's a big lump going through Ascari now, which Jensen is mixed up in. So we will see. We will see. Some other news. Williams have got a new chief technical officer. I don't know if that's actually, hang on. I don't know if that's immediate or soon. But it's Pat Symonds, who actually did manage to get banned for 5 years for fixing the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix, which Alonso won in the Renault, by causing Nelson Piquet Jr. to crash into one of the walls. Deliberately. And I think Briatore, who was the owner of the team at the time, or the team boss, either one, was banned for life, I believe. That's the last I heard anyway. But Pat Symonds has been allowed to rejoin, so it'll be interesting to see if he can turn around Williams' fortunes any time between now and next year, or next year, for example. I don't know. Be interesting to see that one. Doing quite well. Rosberg and Grosjean are going to catch up to me sooner or later, though. I've just got to spend the next 3 laps defending. But I can do that as long as I keep it behind me. It's all good. And pick up some rich fuel mix just for the hell of it. See what we can do now, because Rosberg's going to get his nose in front of here. Just outbrake him just enough, just so I can keep my apex. It's good, looking good. And the other bit of news as well for Sauber is that they're going to hire a teenager to drive their car next year. I kid you not, they're getting younger and younger. In 5 years' time, they're probably going to be like 15 years old. But seriously, they have signed on a guy by the name of Sergei Sirotkin, which is Russian. He's currently 17, currently lined up to drive for Sauber next year in Nico Hülkenberg's place. Nico Hülkenberg gonna move on, whether it's his choice or not, because the deal for having this 17-year-old Russian in F1 is due to getting investment from a group of Russian companies, basically. So they need the money. What do? Hire a Russian driver, especially when Russia is debuting their first Grand Prix next year. So that means Sauber's lineup next year will be Gutierrez and Sirotkin, if I pronounce that properly. So I really do hope Hülkenberg can get a drive somewhere. I hope he doesn't end up in a backmarker team or something, or just ends up going off the face of the earth, especially with a driver as decent as Hülkenberg. It'd be a real shame. Maybe he can replace Grosjean or Lotus or something. Why not? But yeah. And Susie Wolff is going to have her first full Formula 1 Young Drivers test in the Williams on Friday. So that's good to see. I'm quite looking forward to seeing her times more than anyone's, just to see how she stacks up against the others. I really hope she does well. It's about time we had some fast women again. Well, I say again. We haven't really had a properly fast female driver yet. Hopefully Susie can change all that. And as I've said before, it doesn't matter if you have a penis or not, as long as you can drive fast, it's all good with me. So Alonso sets the fastest lap on the last lap, 1:24.8. Let's see if I can maybe even get close to that time. Doesn't look like it so far. Generally my pace in the first sector seems to be within a tenth, almost every time, which is quite interesting. I was like almost every time, probably like 25% of the time, but never mind. But every time I've looked at it when I've been doing this commentary, I've seen it within a tenth. Had to make sure I used up all my curves, got ahead enough just to escape the DRS or stay ahead in the DRS zone before Ascari. Which with Rosberg within a tenth of me. That was the right thing to do. Now I just got to survive around the last corner. And I can take my win. That'll be 3 out of the 4 classic tracks in the calendar I have won, so that's pretty good going. What do you say so myself? Nice use of strategy today to get myself ahead of everyone. Oh, Jensen, 17th? Are you serious?
Excellent job today.
He went backwards.
P1.
So best lap did end up being a 25.0, so that's not bad at all. Only 2 tenths off the fastest lap, set by Schumacher and Alonso there. Set by Alonso, yeah. 2 tenths faster than Rosberg and Grosjean, so did pull it out the bag at exactly the right time. Jensen went backwards from 15th, that's where he was. Vettel did have a good race, that's for sure. He went backwards from qualifying 5th. Red Bull's definitely going to pick up their pace in the next few races, especially Vettel, because for some reason he always tends to do well in Asia in this game, which he does in real life anyway, so it's not a real surprise. But in the Drivers' Championship, I am 73 points ahead of Nico Rosberg, nearly 3 wins ahead. So I could wrap this up by India, possibly, if things continue the way they are. And there's the rest of the standings there. Nothing particularly notable apart from Massa being on 33. Why couldn't you have done that last year? Jensen on 42. It's good. In the constructors, Mercedes are starting to move away a little bit again, but still within 9 points. I need a very good race from Jensen at some point. That would help us a lot. But we're still within shouting distance. Only 2 points ahead of Lotus as well, so got to watch out for them. So it looks like we're going to finish in the top 3 at the very least, because Ferrari are a bit too far behind, I think, to make any real impact. Even if Jensen didn't score any more points for the rest of the season, we'd definitely be 3rd or higher, so it's all good. So there we go, another win. So join me next time for F1's night race, round 14, Singapore. I'll see you then.